What is intuition? What is meant by universal intelligence? And how can you access this abundant, limitless, untapped potential? Hey, I'm Aaron Aiden, and I help people to become their true and authentic selves. So, with the question rising about intuition and the secrets of the universe and consciousness beginning to come into the limelight of mainstream society, with years of studies now of quantum physics on consciousness, we're beginning to understand how there is a universal intelligence that we all existed. What is meant by this universal intelligence is really the fundamental sense of the universe itself. You, me, and about every other living thing in this existing universe has a form of consciousness. We may see one creature as lower or higher states of consciousness than ourselves, but the fact really is that the universe has created consciousness as a means to peer in on itself. Quantum physics tells us that actually consciousness gives birth to the universe. The universe does not give birth to consciousness. And the universal intelligence is somewhat like this. Inside your body are around 100 trillion cells, dividing by about 100 million cells every single second. In each one of those cells, there is 100 trillion atoms. And in the nucleus of those atoms are protons. And quantum physics tells us that every proton in the universe is in direct communication with every other proton in the universe. And these atoms can be connected through time and space. This is known as quantum entanglement. Now, when we speak on the question of intuition, what we're really talking about is the ability to perceive or understand something without conscious reasoning, without a need to explain why or how you know this. And quantum physics tells us that time does not exist, but time is in fact a series of information moving along a specific vector. And this linear motion of information is what we perceive as time. If you take away your memory, for instance, do you still perceive time? If you have no ability to form even a memory from second to second, how would you know that time really exists? Because you're only ever experiencing and remembering the present moment, nothing before or after that. And to make it more interesting, physics actually tells us that all time affects all time all the time. So what you do now is affecting you and the rest of the world in 10 years time and 10 years in the past. And what you did 10 years in the past is affecting you now and 10 years in the future. It's a lot to get your head around that time isn't linear and that all time is and already has happened all the time at all times, right now in this time. But what this really says is, again through quantum entanglement and the fact that time is happening all the time at all time, affecting all time all the time, then using intuition is really tapping in to this communication of information from proton to proton through space and time. But if we change that word space and time to space memory, the memory of the electromagnetic imprint on the fabric of space-time as it moves through this linear vector, giving us time. But because this information is imprinted on the fabric of space-time, the protons in that space-time are talking to the protons inside of your mind. So you can use your mind to consciously perceive what these protons are saying to each other. This is a kind of explanation of how intuition works and how we can perceive things from the future and the past that we could have no way of really understanding or knowing. I'm interested to hear what you think about this explanation for intuition and how it could be linked to the quantum realm. Do you feel that quantum physics explains the mysteries of intuition and communication with consciousness beyond the physical realm? And to give a little bit of light on consciousness outside of the physical realm, physics tells us that consciousness doesn't die with the physical body. And this has been a long-standing spiritual concept for many thousands of years. And now conventional science is beginning to prove much of spiritual concepts to be true and scientific fact. So if consciousness survives beyond the physical death of the body, where does it go? And if that consciousness survives and perhaps enters into a higher dimensional realm after the physical death in this three-dimensional universe, is that consciousness still able to communicate with consciousness states of being lower than the higher dimension it has moved onto? What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know whether you think this is a good explanation of intuition and otherworldly communications, or maybe you think it's something different. And let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in another video.